Squeak! It's Memorial Day weekend. Jalapeno poppers are a mainstay in outdoor snacks. Barbecue, hot dogs, burgers, and you gotta have jalapeno poppers. Well, guess what? Jalapeno poppers, step aside. There's a new kid in town. Arizona poppers are here. Jalapeno poppers on steroids. These are the best. Arizona is taking over. If you don't like doing dishes any more than I do, we're gonna foil the pan. Okay, before we start with the jalapenos, I need to do a word of caution. It doesn't bother me to hold a jalapeno. I can hold one and I can peel one as easy as I can peel a potato or a carrot. That's not true for everybody, and I don't get it, and I don't understand why, but some people, the oils from the jalapeno will burn their fingers. If you fall into that category, you might want to get some rubber gloves that are not going to let the oils from the chilies or peppers penetrate your fingers. But I don't even think about it, so because it doesn't affect me. But for those of you that do, you might want to factor that into whatever you're doing. Now, the heat is in the seeds and in the veins. So when I go to do this, I can slice down and get that vein. I don't know if you can see it for the camera. I'm going to kind of slice under it. Now, when you cook the jalapenos, cooking the pepper itself will drop back a lot of the heat. So that's a good thing. We don't want them so hot people can't eat them. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to take the vein and the seeds out. Just like that. Slice off the end, slice down the middle, and away we go. Okay, now we're going to move on to the next section. This is really critical. We're going to slice pepperjack cheese. I'm going to sit there and cut it about a 1/4 inch at a time. We got them about a 1/4 inch thick, and out of this I just put my fingers there about far away, about as a thickness of a pencil, and slice down, slice down, slice down. So with that in mind, here's our cheese. It works. Doesn't have to be perfect. To be honest with you, when we're finished, it's going to be melted. But this is a really good starting place, because all we're going to do is when we get going is we're going to put the cheese inside the jalapeno like that. That's all we're trying to accomplish. Make this about the size of a golfer's pencil. It'll fit in like that. Okay. Okay, so when we started, I honestly don't know how many jalapenos we had. I think we started, usually we buy 25 and it's enough for both sheets. Today we got 30, 35 in here. So I don't really know what to tell you how many, but now we're gonna put the cheese in the peppers. Now, if you have one where the cheese is too long for the pepper, break it off. It's okay. See, it's already broken in half. That's okay. Cheese complete. We have 2 trays. Jalapenos are sliced. Cheeses are in them. And out of 1 block of cheese, we have this much left. It's used most of it, but not all. Meat cuts best when it's right above freezing. So we're using boneless chicken. We purchased it frozen. And what we're going to do, just like the cheese, we're going to cut it into strips about the size of a golf pencil. So the thickness of a pencil, and then cut it in half. And that's going to be what's going to fit inside a jalapeno. Now I'm going to just do one for example right here. And I don't want them too long, but these are probably even too thick themselves. But when you get the cheese in the jalapeno, and then you got to put your chicken with it, just like this. And it's raw, so we'll be cooking it. This stuff is just a little bit too loose, but that's okay. All right, we're going to put the chicken into the jalapeno. With chicken this small, if you get too much, you can just tear it to size. And then just put a little piece of chicken in every jalapeno. At this point, all the jalapenos have a slice of pepperjack cheese and a slice of chicken in them. We are going to go forward and we're going to take some bacon and wrap it around it. My favorite is apple smoked bacon. I don't recommend maple smoked bacon because it'll have that breakfast taste to it. But the maple smoked will overpower what we're trying to create here. So if that's your thing, go ahead and do it, but I don't recommend it. I would go with apple smoked. And also, it's temptation for some people to use the really thick bacon. In this case, we want the cheap stuff. Buy the cheapest bacon the store has. We want this stuff that'll stretch out, got a lot of fat in it, because we want it to be able to wrap around the jalapeno and then stick to itself while it shrinks. So on this one, whereas I normally buy more expensive and the thick cut bacon, on this one, just the opposite. With this, I usually cut the bacon in half, and remember, we're going to stretch it. So take it right here, and there we are. Okay, I'm going to take a jalapeno, take my half slice of bacon, and I'm going to just kind of stretch. I don't want it to tear, but I want to stretch it as far as I can get it, and then just wrap it around that jalapeno as many times as I can get it. Then very carefully set it here. Okay, so our next step is we're going to drown these things in Worcestershire sauce. Did I say that right? Worcestershire, Worcestershire, and my all-time favorite, wash your sister sauce. Anyway, no, I'm not getting paid to promote Heinz, but this is the brand we use, and we've had real consistent results. Sometimes we've tried some store brands and we haven't been real happy. But Heinz has been good to us, and so that's what we're going to use. Just going to pour this stuff over very liberally. And last but not least, steak seasoning. When I was in Australia, they called this pepper steak. I've seen it called, in the US, I've seen it called Montreal steak seasoning. I've also seen it called Canadian steak seasoning. Right here, this brand is simply called steak seasoning. Regardless of what you're going to call it or what each brand calls it, we're going to sprinkle this all over the top of them. And I like to coat them pretty heavy. I don't want to dust them. I want a sandstorm. And finally, we're going to put them in the oven, 325 degrees for 1 hour. Historically, I've pulled them out at 45 minutes. Sometimes they do okay. Sometimes I wish they were in longer. 1 hour seems to be about right, but some of it also depends on the temperature of your individual oven. So keep an eye on the temperature. Every oven is different. Of all appliances with thermometers, ovens are probably the least accurate. So if your oven runs a little hot, you might want to pull it out earlier. If it runs a little low, pull it out later, but somewhere around 45 minutes to an hour. And then we'll be ready to serve. What do you think?
It's pretty good. You did a good job on it, man.
There we go.
No?